Hello, Colonial hockey fans. Tim Benz and Mike Prisuta with you, your broadcast team for RMU Hockey, along with Colonial's coach, Derek Schooley, here on the RMU Athletics website and all of the social media platforms associated with it. Glad that you are with us as we are here amongst the Four Nations tournament, which is why I'm decked out in my Team USA garb. A gift from my sister, Prisuta. I know you'll appreciate this. Number 50 on the patch here for my 50th birthday. It's good for a while until we acquire Greenland. Then we need 51 because it'll look like 51 states. So maybe it'll be more fertile ground if there are any players from Greenland that can help us out in the Olympics between now and the Four Nations.
Greenland is not one of the Four Nations.
No, it is not. Not yet. Not yet. We'll see about next time around.
Wait till Canada becomes one of us. We're going to have a superpower in hockey.
If we get one other country, we could do our own Four Nations.
I don't know how the tariffs work when it comes to international hockey. We'll have to figure that out later.
Derek, Canada, United States, Greenland, and Gaza. That sounds like a tournament to me.
Derek, let's figure out your team first. You got Niagara coming up this weekend. It's home and away. Away to start on Valentine's night at Niagara on Friday night, the 14th. And then Saturday back at Clearview Arena for the return game. Mike and I will be on the call for that one on Sportsnet Pittsburgh and on Flow Hockey. First and foremost, who will we be talking about in goal? Last time out, you guys had to end the game without a goalie because all three of your goalies were hurt. First of all, how is the injury list looking there after the trip to Bentley? And secondly, have you ever had to do that before?
No. No and no and no. This has been something that's been we've been just decimated with injuries, and you never want to use anything as an excuse. And but we've been playing without numerous all-league players and players that are top guys for us, and then you have to end a game without a goalie because of injury. It's just something that you've never been able to see. Last weekend on Saturday, we played without Croy Korkendorfer, Luke Van Wy, Tom Gangle, Jackson Reineke, Gavin Goulash, Tanner Klimke, Cameron Garvey, and Braden Rourke. We're all out for different reasons. Now, we will be getting some of them back. We should have Dylan Mylan got hurt. Dawson Smith was hurt from the previous night. That's why we ended up with no goalie in the net for the last couple minutes of 6-0 game. We will have two of those guys back this week for our game. And we have added a third goalie to our roster this week, Luke Zukowski, who is from our club program. So we're getting there. At least, I mean, it can't be any worse than we were. And we have goalies to be able to start the game.
That's a good start, to have goalies to start the game.
Correct. That's an NCAA rule that you have to have a goalie to start the game.
Derek, you've been doing this a long time. How have you reacted, and how has your team reacted to what I'm assuming is just an unprecedented development?
I mean, it's obviously frustrating, but it's nothing you can do about it. I mean, Cam Garvey got scratched after warm-ups on Saturday. Obviously, our captain and top line center, and it's just sometimes you just shake your head at that. I mean, we've played without Michael Craig. We've played out without Gabriel Lund. We've been playing without Jackson Reineke all year. Tanner Klimke. You just go down the list of important pieces, and that's your power play there. And then you get other guys like Luke Van Wy got dinged up. I mean, you're going to see a lot of these guys back, but it's just one after another. And I think it hit the top of the mountain at game 2 at Bentley there.
How did Bentley handle it? Did you look over at the bench? Did they look over at you? Like, how did that go down, Derek, for folks who couldn't watch it?
Well, I mean, it was weird because obviously we put Dawson in and to stand there, and I talked to the referee, and I just wanted the game to be over. I mean, I just said, let's end this. He said, we can't do that. You either have to play without a goalie. So we put Dawson there for a little bit, and it was apparent when, as much as they told their team that, you have a goalie that really can't play and he's just standing there, don't shoot, they're still going to shoot. I mean, they still want to score.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't fair to Dawson to put him in that scenario. So finally, we just said, I'm not risking injury of the rest of our players. So we played without a goalie for the last 2.5 minutes. And Dawson ended up playing 2 minutes, and he made 2 saves. Dylan played the majority of the game. But, it's unprecedented. And you've seen it happen a couple times. AIC had to cancel a game this year because of their without having a goalie. They played with one goalie against us. Merrimack had to play their student manager in goal one game this year because of injuries. And this is all in the time frame that we're reducing rosters now. And we're having 10 – we had 10 guys injured on Saturday, 10 guys unable to – on the PUP list, physically unable to perform.
So did you just drop a defenseman back and kind of hang him back then?
No, we played. I mean, we played like we were 6-on-5, like it was the end of the game. And they got a puck. They shot it at the empty net. We had to block one. But we just played like it was a 6-on-5 scenario. We just, like I said, it's something that you do this long enough, you see everything. And I'm starting to see everything.
Derek, we have enough guys back. Do you suspect that you can still play your game, or do you have to completely alter the approach going into this Niagara series based on availability?
No, I think we'll be fine. Like I said, one by one, we're starting to get people back as the week progresses here. And, we will have 2 of our 3 goalies will be available. And like I said, we added Luke to help out in practice and just to take shots and things like that. But neat little story. Luke Zukowski grew up sitting in the 1921 club every game as a kid. He went to my hockey camp. He came to Robert Morris. I don't know if it's because of the hockey program, but he sat there every game growing up. I always would give him knuckles. I remember him from our hockey camp. I knew his dad fairly well. And one day he showed up and wants to be an equipment manager. And he works at Pure Hockey up in Cranberry or Wexford. And one day he just showed up and started helping Chris Kostic. And I know he played on one of the club teams, and he would be at our games when the club team wasn't playing. And the other day on the way back from Bentley, and then to top it off, we got stuck in the snowstorm. So we had to stay over an extra night in Boston instead of coming back, which made the ride harrowing, all over the place and sliding and ice. And it was scary, but at times. But I called Luke from the bus and said, "What are you doing next weekend?" And he said, we got a game. I said, "Well, you want to let's start doing your paperwork. Do you want to play?" And he's like, "Are you kidding me?" He thought I was joking. And I said, "This is an April Fool's Day, so here's where we're at." And Luke has started to come out for practice, and you'll see him in a Colonial jersey after growing up watching the Colonials play on Saturday. So neat little story.
What is the process there, Derek? You said you got to do the paperwork. What paperwork is it? Because he's not getting a scholarship, right? I mean,
no, you have to do eligibility center paperwork. You have to make sure that he was a qualifier coming out of high school. You've got to make sure that he's got progress towards degree. He had to have a physical. He had to sign some things. There's some tests, physical, not physical tests, but tests through your physical that you have to have a sickle cell test and things like that for NCAA, and you have to wait for all those results to come, and then you got to be added to your roster. So there's a lot of things. It's not a 24-hour. It's not a call up from the minors and he's there. We started the process on Monday morning, first thing, and we'll have him available for practice Wednesday afternoon.
Derek, not too long ago, you guys were thinking about maybe working your way up as far as 5th place and a first-round bye. As we speak here today, Colonials are in 9th place. To a certain degree, will the rest of the season be just about getting guys back and finding your game back, and then you play who you play when you play them?
Yeah, we still want to get home ice in the first round. We feel that that's still a legitimate goal. You have to when you do a mission statement or you do goals, sometimes you have to readjust them. And we had to readjust with all of our injuries in our second half here, where we've been just short. Even with all these injuries and everything, we're losing. Other than Saturday night, we lost 1-0 to Bentley, and Bentley's challenging for the league title. Holy Cross is in the driver's seat for the league championship, and we tied them, and we lost by 1 the night before. Sacred Heart, who's also in that mix, we lost with 12 seconds left. So this is still a team that is dangerous. It's just we've had a lot of bad breaks and haven't got the job done in the last couple minutes of games. We haven't finished some games off, and then the injury bug hit. So this is still a dangerous hockey team. This is a hockey team that all we need is something to go right for us, and then watch out. And so, yeah, we want to find our game, but we also still feel that finishing in home ice in the first round, and we got to remember we were picked last, and we're still rebuilding, and we feel that we've got a top 5 team that we just haven't got the job done as much as we need to get the job done this year, and but we still got 4 games left to make a mark, and then playoffs.
Where have you found the absence of Tanner Klimke impacting you the most when it comes to his point production? 5-on-5, power play, just kind of the general line arrangements, beyond the obvious scoring that he provides. Where has his absence impacted you the most?
Well, he plays in all situations, and penalty killing was very good with him. He just provides length and depth to our lineup. He got the ability to score 5-on-5, but also the power play. So we're still day by day with Tanner. We'll see when he feels he's ready to come back. And a lot of times when you deal with some upper body injuries, you have to make sure that you're ready to go both mentally and physically. And we're in that process. He's been skating because his legs aren't broken. So we shouldn't lose anything conditioning wise. So we'll just figure out when we feel that, as a staff, as he goes, as the doctors go, when the right time for him to return us.
Are you noticing, or have you noticed anything individually or from the group that you think you might be able to build upon once you become more of a complete team and you get some guys back? Are you seeing any kind of resolve or anybody stepping their game up? Is there any silver lining to what you guys have gone through of late?
Well, every team's going to go through some adversity. Every team's going to have to battle some, and this hopefully makes us ready for the playoffs, because there will be adversity in there. Hopefully, we'll find a way to flip the switch. If you're asking me if there's silver lining, every series that we play, even with the top teams, the games have gone down to the wire. Minus you go out of Arizona. Holy Cross, they scored with a minute left in the first game. We go to overtime the second game. You go to our home games. RIT, we won 1. The next game was 3-2. Canisius, the goalie was pulled. Army, the goalie was pulled both nights. We lost a 1-0 game in that one. And then you go to this past weekend, Bentley were 0-0 with 9 minutes to go. And they score a goal, and we pull the goalie and don't capitalize with the goalie pulled. So it's every game has been tight. So you sit there and you go, we're not that far away. We just got to believe, and we've got to we can't feel sorry for ourselves and have excuses. We've got to be good.
Derek, what's the book on the Purple Eagles? Last time you faced them, lost in a tie. I see that they've gotten points in 5 of their last 6, won 4 of their last 6. Overall, how are they playing, and what do you expect to see from them?
They're fast. We saw that here at the Island, but we were we had a lot of resolve up there in Niagara when we came back down 4-2 and winning a shootout. So they played very well. They took it to Canisius last night. They had a really good second period. They were up 1-0 going to that period. They scored 4. Canisius kind of crept back in the game a little bit and made it 4-2. And then a couple empty netters were the final. But they're deep. They got a good goaltending, good goaltender in Charleston. And, they got some high-end forwards. and guys that have done a real good job this year, and Ahern and Ott and Premfikov, and their D are fairly deep. So this is a team that's also challenging for a home ice. I think they're in fourth right now and challenging to try to get in the top three and, hold off Army for that fourth home ice in the second round. So I imagine that this is going to be a very challenging series. And, it starts early. We're starting at 6:00 on Saturday. And maybe it's because it's Valentine's Day. I didn't think of that. I was wondering why we were playing at 6. And then when you mentioned it's a Valentine's Day encounter, so maybe that's why we're going early. But we'll be back and on Sportsnet Pittsburgh on Saturday night.
Yeah, just to clarify, you meant 6:00 on Friday, right, Derek?
Yeah, 6:00 Friday, 7:00 on Saturday. Yes,
7:00 Saturday here for home. All right. Well, Derek, best of luck. And
before we go, I want to take this opportunity. One of our good friends that we do this coaches show now on Zoom, but for numerous years we did it at the All Star Sports Grill in Robinson, and Jeff Butya, who was unbelievable to us both as a friend and as a person. We had many events there when we were saving the program. Jeff Butya passed away last week, and he was a great friend to Robert Morris Hockey. He was a great friend to me. I know he was a great friend to both of you, and I'd be remiss if we didn't tell the Butya family that Jeff and their family are in our prayers, and he is somebody that was a big part of our lives every Monday night or Wednesday night, whatever night we did the show. I think we did it some Mondays, some Wednesdays, and a big part of our lives for about 4 years every week. And Jeff will be missed, that's for sure.
Well, I couldn't echo your sentiments any more fervently. I go back with Jeff to his previous place prior to All Star Grill. He ran a place called Butya's, and if you know what I'm talking about, how much fun Butya's was, you know what I'm talking about. But Jeff was always about other people and making sure that they were taken care of and they were having a good time. And
he always had a smile on his face.
Yes, he
always
did.
Would greet you.
I think the only thing he loved more than making people's day a little bit better was Penn State, but I always forgave him for that.
I think the last time, I don't know about you, Mike, the last time I remember seeing Jeff was the Frozen Four last year when we were watching Michigan State play there.
Yeah,
well, that was the regional,
or the NCAA tournament, but yeah.
I try to forget that game. It was alma mater, and
you lost in overtime. You gave up an extra attacker goal in regulation and lost in overtime.
Oh, you remember that, huh?
Is it coming back to you?
Yeah. No, I saw Jeff a couple times after that, and he's going to be missed. That's for sure.
He will.
A good friend of Colonial hockey and Colonial athletics, and Penn State's version of Rudy. And all you got to look up is Penn State Rudy, and you'll see Jeff's smiling picture. And I think there was a picture that went on Facebook with him smiling with his All-Star Sports Girl shirt on, and that was Jeff. And he will be missed.
Well said, Derek. Appreciate it. And we will catch up with you on Saturday in person. Best of luck on Friday against Niagara.